Now, most dads, they don't stay out of shape because of laziness. Um, People might think that, the impression might be given off that they're lazy, but most dads, it isn't about that laziness. There's a lot of things that come into play with this. You can have, obviously, like family responsibilities. You can have work stresses, everyday stresses. Um, all of these things can chip away and drag you down and can affect your motivation, your energy, and like I say, this can actually sort of be determine that people are thinking that it's laziness, and it really isn't. Now, just for instance, when you talk about work, if you've got a family and you're commuting to work, that could incorporate driving to a station, walking to a station. That could incorporate 30 minutes on the train, an hour on the train, hour and a half on the train, getting on a tube, walking from the station. All of that on top of whatever your job is, say for 7, 8, 9 hours, maybe longer. Now, what happens then is that you're at work, you're trying to concentrate on your work. Some people have harder jobs, easier jobs. But while that's going on as well, though, you've got family issues that you are sort of, they're ruminating in your head as well. And I do understand, because I deal with these things. These are natural things that men, fathers actually go through, that even if they're not outwardly showing these issues, they're internal battles that we do have. You can be at work trying to get stuff done, and these thoughts crop up into your head about issues going on at home. It could be, your children at school, if there's problems at school going on, um, bullying issues, anything, like, if they're struggling with their work, it just day to day home life, with your partner. There could be some sort of rocky period you're going through, some ups and downs, that can sometimes be caused by the children. It's natural arguments that just happen day to day, and they can play on your mind while you're trying to get your job done. So you've got all them stresses throughout the day. Then you come back home and you've got that journey you did in the morning. You got the reverse of that. There could be delays as well. I mean, obviously, there for people who are working in the city, other people, they've got different jobs. It could be driving jobs. There's different stresses with all and everything. So you've got that's draining your energy. It's sapping you. Trying to motivate yourself after a day like that is bloody difficult. Now, like I say, you've got family responsibilities. So if you've been away from the kids, you come home, you want to see your kids, you want to be in the best state for them. You come in, sometimes it's hard to show that you have missed them. Um, it can be really difficult because you don't want it to come across as rudeness, as um, like bluntness, that you are tired. So you have to try and put on a brave face. Now, also, you've got just normal stresses of bills, issues with, like, if you've got certain bills you've got to pay, if there's a bit of debt there as well, and there's a lot of people obviously in debt at the moment. Some people put themselves into debt through really bad decisions, choices, addictions, stuff like that. Some people are in debt just through how life is at the moment, through the cost of living, which obviously we know is getting more and more difficult by the day. Um, I won't go into that at the moment, but some of that I do feel that people are being taken advantage of as an excuse. Just, it's cost of living, so we're going to put our prices up. I don't believe that it affects everything. Now, there's no routine then. There's the work routine and the day to day getting up, doing stuff like that, but there's no routine for you personally. And it's very easy to stop prioritizing yourself. I've been there, I understand, because I've been told before by people that I don't prioritize me. And they've used the example, like, if you're on a plane and the masks drop down, you're supposed to put your one on first before you help others. So you have to look after your mental health, your well-being, before you can be good for other people, like your family. But it's very easy as a dad, as a man, to forget about that and prioritize your partner, the family, your children. There could be members of your family, parents going through issues. You know, there could be parents dying, like end of life issues going on, and you're also trying to raise your family, work. All of them things are being built up. As men, we're in a position as well, though, that on one hand, we're still supposed to be that hard exterior that we push through. We deal with these things, and we just push through. We don't talk about it. We don't need to. On the other side, we're supposed to be better, more emotional, more in touch with our feelings. And it's hard to keep flipping back between the two, because society will pigeonhole us in one way, and then it'll flip around when we've got to be something different. So what do they want us to be? So with all of that going on as well, that brings its own stresses and strains too. Now, the harsh truth of all this is, where you just slowly, over time, you stop prioritizing you as a person, that affects your confidence. It chips away at a lot. It really does set you back with stuff. Now, if you're going through these things, how do you make yourself aware of it? You get into that other routine where, you know, it can become, no disrespect to anyone, but it can become like Groundhog Day, that you're just going through the motions. And then that brings around the stress of you hating yourself for that you never envisaged your life was going to be like that. And that, like I say, is nothing against your family, but you still feel that guilt that you're feeling that, because prior to having children, you could not envisage how much it would change your life. So you would have had a routine of doing this for yourself or doing that, and then that changes forever. I mean, do you get that back, or is it because you're a lot older and you don't ever reclaim that? Don't know. I'm not at that point yet. You know, maybe you do. Maybe in a different way. Maybe it's better. I don't know. But all I can say is, with all them stresses, and they tell us as men, as fathers, to look after ourselves, to talk, to look after our mental health, all of these issues, still there's not enough done, or it's not acceptable to actually do that. Because like I say, we've still got to be someone else. The majority of the time, it's the main breadwinner or the protector in the family. And with this world changing, this country changing, getting more dangerous day by day, dumbing down our emotions and trying to be in touch with our feminine side as such and all that, we can't go too far down that route, because we still have to be a protector. And as some people would say, yet again, no, we can protect ourselves. We don't need the male role model to be that strong person in the family to protect and that. Personally, I think that's crap. No offense to any women. Don't get me wrong, there is some amazing female boxers out there, amazing MMA fighters. But I'm talking generally that, you know, let's just take the UK. To protect your home, your castle, your domain, where you're bringing up your family, it's usually going to be that man. It comes down to the man to protect that space. You need to still have that in you, that animal instinct. But what society does now is tries to bottle it up, that you can only have so much of that, and a natural emotion, you can only have so much, and that is hard, because yet again, what are we supposed to be? We're battling within ourselves, but when it's forever changing, how are we supposed to be our true self? How are we supposed to be on top of our mental health? It's not easy. I do understand. These are day-to-day issues that I deal with, I struggle with. I really do. I have my good days, and I have my bad days. I really do. And all we can do is keep going, and try not to feel that guilt that sometimes we feel. If you've got family out there, brothers, sisters, parents, work colleagues, groups of mates, clubs, football clubs, martial arts, dojos, wherever you train, if you've got people you can talk to, you need to reach out if you can, because keeping it bottled up, and I told my son this the other just today, keeping it bottled up like that is only going to get worse, and we go within ourselves. And I struggled when I was younger. I went through a lot of that, keeping it inside of me and not having anyone to talk to, and it's not good, because that stuff can scar you for forever. You're always battling that then. So I do understand the stresses and how we can slip out of the routine of prioritizing ourselves, looking after our mental health. But that's why I really like men out there to sort of push this even further, and to have a community where we can talk and look after ourselves. And while society is getting worse for this sort of thing, I don't think it's actually getting better with English British men, to be honest. There's still going to be some major issues, but for now, take care. Try and make today better than it was yesterday.